Hello, everyone. The purpose of this video is to go over the final exam and also to share with you how to prepare for the final. So the final exam is conducted on Saturday, just like the midterms did. The link will open at 9 a.m. and it will close at 4 p.m. You have 2 hours within the 7-hour window to complete the final. There are, I believe, 44 or 45 questions on the final exam. And the best way to prepare for it is to use 5 different learning tools that I'm going to introduce to you. If you looked at the video for midterm number 1 and 2, they're pretty much the same. So let's just start with the first learning tool, which would be the final exam review. So to access final exam review, I am going to go to Canvas. Let's go there together. And I am going to, let's see if I have opened. I'm going to open Canvas. I think I'm just going to make sure that Canvas is open before I take you there. Okay, let's try again. So I'm going to go back to Zoom, share my screen, and share. Okay, so this is your class, Financial Accounting 2. I said let's go to the modules. So I'm going to go to modules and scroll down until you see final exam reminder. So click on final exam reminder. And then you will see what I just mentioned, that the final exam is on Saturday. Now, this final exam, obviously, in the winter quarter, the date that I have is March 25th. But if you are watching this video during fall quarter or spring quarter, obviously the dates will be different. So the although the date is different, but the content is the same. The way to prepare for the final exam is the same, and it's pretty much the same way you prepared for the midterms, as I mentioned before. All right, so it says that it consists of 45, so it is 45 questions, and it's semi-comprehensive, so it doesn't go back to chapter 10. It starts with chapter 14, 15, 16, and 17, so basically 4 chapters. I've selected pretty much equal number of questions from each chapter, meaning that each chapter would have equal weight. So I would strongly recommend that you go over those chapters with focus and concentration. All right, now, how to prepare for it? I mentioned to download the final exam review. So I'm going to go ahead and download it. And I'm going to share my screen. And you will see that there are, I think I have about 45 questions on the final exam review, 45 questions. And so what I want you to do is first take a look at the questions, answer them. Always answer the questions before you look at the answer key. Because if you look at the answer key to begin with, and you think you know the answers, but that's because the answer is right in front of you. But if you don't look at the answers, and solve the problem first, answer the question first, then look at the answer key, you know which areas you're still not strong, and perhaps you need to go back and go back to that chapter and read the content and get stronger in that area. So that's what I always say. Don't look at my answer key first. Look at the actual final exam review, then the answer key. Okay, so that's tool number one. Tool number two is go back to Canvas. I'm going to go back to Canvas. By the way, so hopefully you will see my final exam review. I'm going to stop sharing and share again just to make sure you do see it. So let's share again and share. There you go. So that's the final exam review. Then I'm going to go over the answer key real quick. So let's go back to Canvas, and here's the answer key. Download it. Always use the down arrow key, by the way, to download the answer key. And here you go. You have all the answers for the 45 questions. And now I'm going to go back to module. And I mentioned that I want to, not to go back to modules, I'm sorry, to go back to Canvas and go to Pearson, go to my lab and mastering, which is by Pearson. So I'm going to click on it because I want to show you tool number two. Tool number two would be the flashcards. So we are about to enter Pearson, my lab and mastery. And today my computer is terribly slow. My internet is slow, so please bear with me until this page loads. Come on, computer. It's almost there. There you go. Okay. Just to make sure you can see my screen, I'm going to stop sharing and share again. Okay, just to make sure. Now, then I mentioned that I want you to do flashcards. You can do the flashcards by going to Multimedia Library, and select the chapter. Let's select chapter 14, which is going to be on the final. And then click on flashcards. Do you see that little box that says flashcards? And then say find now. Scroll down. Once you click on find now, scroll down and you will see two sets of flashcards. Do not click on the first one because that's for the entire text. Go to chapter 14, click on that and expand your screen. Let's select the first question, amortization schedule. Remember, you had chapter 14 on the second midterm as well. So hopefully this would be really easy for you because a lot of the questions you have either seen them or you're already familiar with the content. So I clicked on amortization schedule. Now I'm going to say study now. And let's see the definition of amortization schedule. I'm going to click on it. It says it's it is a schedule that details each loan payment's allocation between principal and interest at the beginning and ending loan balance, and the beginning and ending loan balances. And the answer is correct. This is the right answer, but I'm purposely going to say incorrect so you can see that I'm going to get 0. I don't want you to follow my path. I want you to get 100%, but I just want to show you that even if you do get 0, which is obviously what happened here, you can study again. This time, read it carefully and say correct. There, I got 100%. That's what I want you to do on the final. So then you can go to all the questions, but I just wanted to show you one as an example. Just continue going to the second question, third question, answer all the flashcard questions. So first tool to prepare for the midterm, for the final exam, I keep saying midterm, for the final exam, it is my review on modules. Number 2 is flashcards. Number 3 is dynamic study modules. So you are still in Pearson. Let's just close this screen and go to dynamic, to assignments and results. Go to assignments and results. And then if you click on results, you will see the results of all the homework you've done, as well as the DSMs. Now, if you have done pre and post test also, which again, it was as a practice tool, you did not get extra credit points for it, but one of my students said, how can I do pre and post test? I actually, on the announcements of Canvas, I outlined the steps to do pre and post test, just in case you want to do that. But right now I want you to focus on DSM. So we went to assignments and results, you click on results, and then you will see the results of all the homework and DSMs you've done. So go over DSMs for chapter 14 all the way to chapter 17. Okay, so that would be the second tool. Now, the third tool is to go to your eText. And as you know, the eText is still in Pearson. So you're still in Pearson. So you go to eText, which is accounting eText. And then if you go to eText and click on it, and then select the chapter that you want, for example, chapter 14. Yeah, it took a while for it to. Okay, now I can go eText. Sorry, this is taking a bit longer than I anticipated. So you go to eText, you know how to do that. You go to chapter 14, go to the end of chapter 14. I want you to do the 10 questions that are multiple choice questions, as well as check your understanding. So you will do what's called a quick review, which is at the end of every chapter of your eText, as well as the check your understanding. Quick check will give you the multiple choice questions to practice on. And then check your understanding is one problem, which is really the gist of that chapter. And the beautiful thing about check your understanding is that it also has solutions to that problem. So it will really prepare you for all the problem solving questions that you will see on the final exam. So I hope you consider doing that. It just finally downloaded it. Again, that's because my internet's slow today. So we go to chapter 14, here you go, and at the end of the textbook, at the end of chapter 14, and you will take a look at quick check number 1 and check your understanding number 2. So to prepare for the final, you will do the midterm review number 1. Then you go to Pearson. You will do the flashcards number 2. Then you do DSM number 3. Then while you're still in Pearson, you will do the quick check and check your understanding. Then the last thing I want you to do is go back to Canvas. So let's go back to Canvas, everyone. And go to modules. And scroll down to go to where it says chapter 10 through 17 lecture in Microsoft Word. Scroll down to get chapter 14. Use down arrow key to download the summary of that chapter. And there you have it. Now you can even just quickly go over the summary of the chapter. I think it's a good review by itself. It's short and sweet, and I like that. And then these are the questions I was referring to. Okay, there you go. So that would be tool number 5. Now, I always say, obviously, if you do have time, do the demo doc as well. Demo doc is in Pearson. And what I like about demo doc is it has an audio component to it. So for the learners that are both visual and audio learners, you will have that second sense that will help you with the retention of learning materials. And that's why I think that would be good, but that would be if you have time. All right, so on that note, let's go to see the actual final exam. So I'm going to go back to assignments. And then I am going to click on final exam. And you will see it says it has 45 questions. You have 2 hours to answer the 45 questions. And I'm going to show you just a couple of questions, just to kind of get a feeling for the questions. Alrighty, and this is a problem solving question. So remember, I have a series of questions that are conceptual. It tests you over the understanding of a concept, whereas I have questions that are problem solving, where you see numbers and you solve the problem. For example, question number 1 is a problem solving one. You solve the problem, one of the answers is correct answer, and then you click on it. And I don't know if this is the correct answer, I'm just clicking on something. So I want to show you conceptual. See, this is an example of a conceptual question. The interest rate on which cash payments to bondholders are based is the not market rate, discount rate, stated rate, and amortization rate. Guess which one's the right answer? I am going to say stated rate. So that is the correct answer, because that's the rate that's printed on the bond. The market rate determines the price of the bond, but not the interest payment. The interest payment is calculated based upon the stated rate, okay? So another conceptual question, is question number 4, which of the following concepts present time value of money? And this is the concept that money becomes obsolete over time, the concept that money earns interest over time, the concept that money loses its purchasing power over time, the concept that money can be converted into other currencies over time. And the answer is the concept that money earns interest over time. Okay, this is right out of your textbook. And also notice how not only I scramble the answers, I also scramble the questions. So for example, question number 1, this one is out of chapter, I want to say installments was chapter 12. No, chapter 12 was partnership. Chapter 14, this is out of chapter 14. So that would be this question. So you don't, this one just happened to be chapter 14, but sometimes, you know, you just start with chapter 17 and then it goes back to, it's all scrambled, is what I'm saying. The questions are all scrambled. They're not in the order in which you see the chapters, okay? All right, on that note, I am done with the review. I'm going to stop sharing. I want to wish you all the best on the final exam. And I want to thank you for being in my class. Some of you have been in both my Financial Accounting 1 and Financial Accounting 2. And either way, it's been a privilege to have you in my class. And sometimes I do teach managerial accounting online as well. And if I do, I hope to see you there. Again, have a wonderful break and all the best on the final. Thank you. Bye, everyone.